The live stream didn't start with a hello. It started with a thud. That was the sound of a heavy leather-bound binder hitting the desk in front of Candace Owens. For months, the conservative firebrand has hinted that she possesses nuclear information on the Duchess of Sussex. Critics called it a bluff. They said she was chasing engagement. They said the files didn't exist. Tonight, Candace Owens didn't just prove them wrong. She opened the book. "They told me this didn't exist," Owens began, her voice calm, but laced with the icy precision of a prosecutor. "They told me that Soho House was just a private club for creatives. They told me that Meghan Markle was a successful actress who just happened to meet a prince. Well, I'm looking at the intake logs from 2014 to 2016, and I don't see an actress. I see an employee." Part 1 of this explosive expose centers on the red binder, a leaked cache of internal documents allegedly smuggled out of Soho House's London headquarters during a frantic data purge in 2020. The files don't just list names, they list classifications. Owens flipped to page 44. The camera zoomed in. The document is a membership registry. Most names are blacked out, listed simply as member or founder. But next to the name Meghan Markle, there is no member tag. There is a specific internal code, VPC. Do you know what C stands for? Candace asked, looking directly into the lens. It doesn't stand for celebrity. It doesn't stand for charity. According to the legend in the front of this very book, VPC stands for VIP Companion. This is the bombshell that changes the entire history of the Sussex marriage. Alleges that the companion status was a specific tier of membership curated by Marcus Anderson. It wasn't for people who paid dues. It was for women whose dues were waived in exchange for their presence at high-stakes dinners, business closings, and yacht excursions hosted by the global elite. This is the lie at the heart of the feminist fairy tale. Owens declared Meghan wasn't breaking glass ceilings. She was walking through doors held open by billionaires who expected a return on their investment. But the number that has the internet breaking is 89. Owens reveals that the binder contains a hosting log. It tracks every time a VPC was deployed to a specific event or table. Between 2014 and the summer of 2016, Meghan Markle's ID number is tagged 89 times. 89 men, Owens clarified. "I want to be very clear. I am not saying she slept with 89 men. I am saying she was assigned to 89 men. She was the mood lighting for 89 separate business deals, poker games, and private dinners. She was the sweetener in the deal." The first entry Candace highlights is dated November 2014. The location, a private room at Soho House, West Hollywood. The client, a 6-year-old oil tycoon from Texas. The log notes, hostess duty, 4 hours. Discussion topic, philanthropy fee waived. Billed to house. She was acting, Candace said, pointing to the page. But she wasn't on a soundstage for suits. She was performing the role of the intellectual beauty for a man old enough to be her father. Also, Marcus Anderson could secure a membership fee from him. She was the bait. This revelation shatters the girl boss narrative Meghan has cultivated. It suggests that her rapid ascent in social circles wasn't due to her charm or her blog, the TAG. It was due to her willingness to be placed in rooms where she was the product, not the peer. Owens closed part 1 with a challenge to the palace. "Prince Harry sues newspapers for hacking phones," she said, tapping the binder. "But he can't sue a ledger. This is accounting. This is history. And it proves that the woman he married wasn't looking for love. She was working a shift." The red binder is open. The 89 men have been counted. And Candace Owens is just getting started. And just a reminder, every deleted tweet, fake statement, and PR cover-up takes hours to piece together. If you want to help this channel keep going, hit that join button and become a member. We'll keep exposing what they won't. Candace Owens didn't wait for the shock of part 1 to subside. She turned the page of the leather-bound dossier and pointed a manicured finger at a tab marked International Logistics. "We need to talk about the geography of the grift," Candace announced. Because if you follow the Instagram feed, Meghan Markle was a world traveler exploring cultures. But if you follow the money in this binder, she was an asset being shipped across borders. In August 2015, Meghan posted photos from Turkey. She was seen visiting the Hagia Sophia, eating local food, and captioning her posts with hashtags about gratitude and wanderlust. The narrative was clear. A successful independent woman enjoying a girl's trip. That is the cover story, Candace said, holding up a printout of Meghan's old Instagram post next to a page from the Soho House binder. Now, let's look at the reality. The entry in the red binder for August 2015 does not list a vacation. It lists a deployment. The client listed is not a girlfriend. It is a redacted name associated with a Russian aluminum conglomerate, a man known in intelligence circles as Client 44. Meghan Markle didn't pay for that flight, Candace alleged, reading from the ledger. The flight was chartered by Client #44, and she wasn't staying at a hostel. She was staying on the Extasia, a super yacht docked in the Bosphorus. This is where the 89 men count gets specific. Candace reveals that for this specific weekend, Meghan was assigned as the primary host for a dinner party aboard the yacht. The log shows a transfer of funds, Candace noted, tracing the line item. But it doesn't go to Soho House. It goes to a shell company in Delaware called Creative. The amount is $40,000 for a weekend. Candace paused for effect, looking straight into the camera. You don't get paid 40 grand to eat baklava, folks. You get paid 40 grand to be the eye candy for men who are sanctioned by the US government. This wasn't a cultural exchange. It was a transaction. This revelation raises a massive national security question that Owens is keen to press. If Meghan Markle was accepting five-figure sums from Russian oligarchs in 2015, she was a compromised individual when she met Prince Harry in 2016. Did the palace bet this? Candace asked. Did MI5 see this ledger? Because I'm looking at it right now, and it tells me that the woman sleeping next to the spare heir to the British throne was on the payroll of the very people the West is trying to sanction. Candace argues that the Istanbul incident is the smoking gun that proves Meghan wasn't just dating around. She was working a circuit built on access, silence, and large cash transfers. Marcus Anderson knew exactly what he was doing. Candace concluded part 2. He was building a portfolio for her. And in Istanbul, she wasn't exploring the city. She was auditioning for the role of billionaire's wife. She just didn't land the role that weekend, so she kept the money and moved to the next target. The binder is still open, and the pages are only getting darker. Candace flipped the page with a snap that echoed like a gunshot. The tab read, May 2016 Can. This is the pivot point, Candace declared, her eyes narrowing. This is the month everything changed. If you look at the official history books, Meghan Markle was nowhere near the Cannes Film Festival in 2016. She wasn't in the movies. She wasn't on the red carpet, and she wasn't invited. She tapped the open binder, but according to the Soho House movement logs, she was the star of the show, just not the show the public gets to see. Part 3 of The Exposed focuses on what Owens calls the yacht audition. The file details a 4-day itinerary off the coast of Captain Antibes. The vessel listed is the Maltese Falcon, one of the most expensive sailing yachts in the world. The client listed isn't a single man. It is a group simply labeled the Syndicate. Do you know what the Syndicate is? Candace asked, leaning in. It's a collection of 5 international financiers who pull their money to rent super yachts for the festival. And they don't rent them to watch films. They rent them to party. And they pay Marcus Anderson a premium fee to ensure the party has the right ambience. Candace reveals that Meghan's name appears on the manifest as head of protocol. It's a euphemism. Candace scoffed. Head of protocol doesn't mean she was organizing the seating chart. It means she was organizing the fun. It means she was the girl in charge of making sure the glasses were full and the men were happy. She was the madam of the Mediterranean for a weekend. But the most damning piece of evidence in part 3 isn't the job description. It's the performance review. Owens claims the binder contains internal notes from Marcus Anderson to his superiors regarding Meghan's performance during that trip. The note is brutal. Candace read it aloud. Client feedback mixed. H number 443 Rain is pushing too hard for commitment. She is breaking the fourth wall. She is trying to turn Jays into husbands. We need to pull her from the rotation. She is becoming a liability. This is the smoking gun, Candace said, dropping the page. She wasn't just doing the job. She was trying to escape the job. She was desperate. She was 34 years old. Her cable TV show was peaking, and she was hustling billionaires on yachts, trying to land a ring before her looks faded. Candace argues that this failure in Cannes is directly responsible for the tragedy of Prince Harry. She failed to land a billionaire in France. Candace surmised the syndicate didn't want to marry her. They just wanted to rent her, and that broke her. Marcus pulled her from the rotation, and he gave her one last assignment, a Hail Mary pass to save her career. Candace pointed to the bottom of the page where a flight itinerary was stapled. Date June 2016. Destination, London. Objective, Project H. She didn't go to London for charity, Candace concluded, her voice dropping to a whisper. She went to London because she had struck out in Cannes. Harry wasn't the prize. He was the consolation prize. He was the only one dumb enough to buy the product the billionaires had already returned. Candace Owens paused, letting the silence hang in the air before she tapped the binder with a manicured fingernail. The history books, or should I say the story books, will tell you that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry met on a blind date, that it was kismet that the stars aligned in July 2016. She opened the binder to a section tabbed the London assignment. I call it the Dean Street Directive. And looking at these files, it wasn't a date. It was a job interview. And Harry was the only one in the room who didn't know he was hiring. The official story is that a mutual friend set them up, but the log lists the reservation at 76 Dean Street under a corporate account. The code used isn't for a personal booking. It is BizDev client acquisition. Business development, Candace repeated slowly. You don't book a first date under business development unless you plan on closing a deal. And what was the deal? The deal was the Prince of England. Owens highlights a specific note attached to the reservation allegedly written by Marcus Anderson to the general manager of the club. The note reads, Protocol Omega in the snug. No staff access for 90 minutes. Preset the table with the Botswana portfolio. He needs to feel like he's saving the world, not buying a drink. The Botswana portfolio, Candace said, her voice dripping with skepticism. Harry loves Africa. It's his sanctuary. And here we have evidence that before he even walked in the door, Meghan had been briefed to talk about Africa. She didn't just happen to share his interests. She was scripted to mirror them. But the most humiliating detail for the Duke comes from the comp log. Candace reveals a receipt from that night. 2 tequilas, a martini, a bottle of rose. The total came to over £300, but Harry didn't pay. Meghan didn't pay. The bill was stamped. Marketing expense write-off. Harry thinks he swept her off her feet, Candace said, shaking her head. He doesn't realize he was a line item on a marketing budget. Soho House paid for the drinks because they knew that if this merger happened, the value of their membership would skyrocket. They were investing in the brand. Owens claims that this document proves the love at first sight story is a fabrication. It was a targeted acquisition. She failed and Candace reminded the audience. So she came to London, got the script from Marcus, put on the costume of the humanitarian, and walked into Dean Street to perform the role of a lifetime. And Harry, he sat there, drank his free tequila, and fell in love with a character that was written for him. She closed the section with a final chilling thought. The scary part isn't that she tricked him, Candace said. The scary part is that the entire club, the waiters, the managers, the bartenders, they all knew they were all extras in the movie. And they watched the prince walk into the trap and didn't say a word. Candace turned the page, her expression shifting from mockery to disgust. The tab on this section was red, marked simply concurrent operations. This is the part that turns the tragedy into a farce, Candace said, looking into the lens. Because while Prince Harry was back in London telling his friends he had found the woman he was texting was literally on the clock with another man. Part 5 of The Exposed focuses on August 2016. The public timeline tells us this was the summer of love. Harry and Meghan were secretly dating. They were visiting each other. They were exclusive. That's what Harry thought, Candace said, tapping a specific entry in the ledger. But according to the Soho House availability log, Meghan Markle wasn't exclusive. She was double-booked. Owens points to an entry dated the 15th of August, 2016. Location, Dubrovnik, Croatia. Official Instagram posts from the time show Meghan enjoying a scenic European summer.